Has reported 97% rise in second quarter earnings per share to 38 kobo. Profits of the mid-tier lender were lifted by a 70% increase in non-interest income. The results were underpinned by a 21% jump in deposits. And to review these numbers, I'm joined now by Abubakar Suleiman, Chief Financial Officer at Sterling Bank. Abubakar, thank you very much for joining us. So on the surface, it does look like a pretty solid set of numbers. Looking at the growth compared to last year, 97% increase in earnings. Not bad at all. Can you just talk us through the drivers of growth?
Welcome. I recall having a discussion about this after our first quarter, and we mentioned that the numbers we showed in the first quarter are sustainable numbers. And that is because they had been driven by significant growth in customer base and the retail deposit that comes with that. And also on the asset side, there has been significant growth. We have close to 60% of our loan book now in the corporate banking sector. We intend to grow loans this year by just over 30%, and we've already achieved 19% of that as at half year.
Right.
Our target for deposit growth for the year is 36%.
Right.
And currently we've done well over half of that as well.
How is the growth in your deposits impacting your funding costs? Because I imagine that for the smaller banks compared to, of course, the larger ones that have huge deposits, particularly retail deposits, this could be a challenge for some of the tier 2 banks. So can you just talk us through how that is changing given the growth we're seeing in deposits?
Well, we have seen significant improvement in the cost of fund. We had a cost of fund of over 7% as at last year. We have seen that drop to 5.7%. But more interesting is the number of active accounts. We've added close to 200,000 active accounts in 6 months. And for us, that is a key driver for us. We see an opportunity where what might otherwise be a challenge, because we can see how this can be transformed.
Right, but we also see that you are raising 12.5 billion naira via rights issues. Can you just talk us through where you're looking to deploy this capital?
The most important use for the capital for us is actually to strengthen our balance sheet. We have been very efficient the way we've used our capital in the past, and we recognize when it's time to beef up the capital and strengthen the balance sheet. We have a program that will enable us to raise $400 million. The rights issue is the first phase of the program. We expect to follow immediately with a private placement for $120 million, which is translated to roughly 20 billion naira.
Right.
And we'll close the program with another $200 million in Tier 2 capital. So beyond where we will apply the capital, the first thing for us is to strengthen our balance sheet and make us resilient to shocks that might happen in the economy.
Right. Talking about being resilient to shocks, perhaps one way to do that will be inorganic growth. And we do know that some South African banks have spoken to Sterling Bank in the past. And I wanted to get your thoughts about where M&A sits in your strategy going forward.
Historically, we have been a bank that is open to M&A. We have successfully executed a couple of M&As. We certainly were one of the most successful in executing the last set of acquisition. You recall I noted that we concluded our integration in under 6 months, which is a record for any company.
Right.
So we are open to it because we are good at it. But for us, it's opportunistic. We don't necessarily have to participate in all M&As. But we also don't intend to miss any opportunity that allows us to achieve our target if the price is right.
But if you are looking to do a deal right now, what will be the key consideration for you? Will it be the scale that such a party would bring to the table, or would it be the reach? What exactly would be the key considerations for you?
At the end of the day, for us, the most difficult thing to build is customer base. You can build branches and you can scale up on the asset side, but if you haven't got enough customers doing business with you, that's where the challenge is. So for us, we are looking to acquire customers that we can upgrade to the sort of service that we're used to offering, and that is how we get value.
Right. Would the AMCOM banks, though, be something that you would consider?
I think there are interesting options with the AMCOM banks. Depending on what the opportunities look like when we take a closer look, we are absolutely happy to discuss them. But that's not the driver for our growth. The fundamental driver for our growth is what we've done and what we hope to do. We think that our deposit, for example, will grow by close to 40% in 12 months period. That for us is where the growth is coming from. We are unlocking value. We are applying our capital to put in more efficient technology in place to drive our business. We are expanding our branch network. That's where value will come from in the long run. But if we see an opportunity for an acquisition with Ancom Bank, we are happy to take a look at it.
All right. What about retail? A lot of banks talking about retail being key, core to their strategy going forward. Is that the case for Sterling Bank as well? And how exactly are you likely to play the retail space?
It is certainly the case for Sterling Bank, and the reason why retail has become a key focus for bank is that we're finally able to deploy technology that makes it cost efficient, bank the lowest end of the market. That wasn't the case before, so it was very difficult to make money in retail. Today we are using the available telecom opportunities, the technology platforms that are now available, the payment platform, and we're able to service people that otherwise would have been inefficient to serve using traditional banking network. So right. Yes, that is how we intend to play it. We intend to play it by deploying technology, and we actually believe that we're very excited to play. I mean, to acquire 200,000 customers in 6 months for us is a record. I think that points to the fact that we're playing it correctly.
All right.